I think the bigger issue is the gambling issues in our society, especially as a first world country. So now, and especially for young men, this is affecting young men the most, especially those that come from maybe more impoverished conditions.
Yes,
because
100%.
Unfortunately, when you come from scenarios where you don't have that much money, you sometimes look for the get rich quick scheme. Those things are more attractive to you.
Which makes sense because, again... And we back at it again, Far From Normal podcast. Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Let's
Y'all
get
already
it.
know what time it is.
Yes, sir. Boy, oh boy, man. The weather's really changing on us, man.
Yeah, I know. We're back. We're back at that temperature. You know, it's been dropping. I heard it was like -1 today.
I don't know what it was in the morning. I do know that the highest was 10 today.
Yeah.
And it was really cold. I did go for a hike this morning, so that was interesting.
How cold was it on the hike?
I think when you do a hike, when you're going uphill, you start to warm up. I think before we started, at the beginning, it was decently cold.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're just standing around. You got to get the body moving. But as you start moving, and luckily the sun is out, it felt good to just do the hike. And I think, honestly, just thank the heavens that you're healthy enough to do a hike. I think sometimes people forget that not everybody has an opportunity to go out there and do things that are as simple as a hike.
Of course. There's a lot of people that are incapable. There are people that have health issues, especially with injuries. A lot of times, you know, a lot of us have injuries, knee, hip, back, whatever it is, and it prevents us from doing doing some activities. So yeah, definitely grateful for being able to do it. That's always a great thing. But I remember when we were in China, it just brought me back to a story when we were in China and we were hiking and we bumped into like an older man, older gentleman. He had a dog with him. Yes. And you remember he was like in his 60s, near 70s. Yeah. And I think we were running. I don't know if we were running when we were going up this hike. I don't know if we were walking or running.
I think we were walking.
He was running.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, he like basically passed us, and we were like, "Wait, we can't let this guy pass." But I feel like we ran.
Did we run? I don't remember if we were running, but I know which hike you were talking about.
I feel like we ran a little bit because he passed us, and then we're like, "No, we can't let this older guy pass us." And we overtook him. Yeah, and then literally like we got tired, and he caught up to us and ended up passing us again. So it's just funny too, where like even people that are older can be even more fit than younger people as well. So don't take it for granted just because you're younger. That means like you have the capability. Even when you're older, some people are able to still go after it.
Well, it just kind of depends on how much time and effort you put into your health. And I'm pretty sure that man has been going up that hill pretty often, pretty steady, maybe 2 times, 3 times a week.
100%.
Right? We don't know, right? It's just like when you're doing long distance running, you don't really know how much time the person's running per week. You see them one day and you think, oh, okay, they don't look like a runner, but why are they outrunning me? You know what I mean? And it's like the reason for that is because they're doing a lot of the training, right? The training that you can't see. And speaking of the training that you can't see, there's a rookie in the NBA currently, VJ Edgecombe.
VJ Edgecombe.
Yes, he is. He's a rookie. And he's Bajan descent, so he's from Barbados. Yeah,
shout out to the Bajans.
For sure.
Just have
2 of them.
Exactly. So shout out to them.
Shout outs to them. This gentleman has done something that hasn't been done in like I think it was about 66 years.
66 years.
Can you imagine? So
what was
he
the
did?
Accomplishment? Yeah.
So the accomplishment was on his debut he dropped 34 points.
So his NBA debut, first game, rookie. Yep. Came in and dropped 34 points against the Celtics.
Against the Celtics, exactly, which was
strong team.
They're not the reigning champ, but they won it like a year before. So that just goes. That's a big feat.
100%.
And he also tied I think he tied the record for like a debut rookie.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So he in their franchise.
Okay. Well, he's starting off gunning.
He started off gunning.
Put up those type of numbers as a professional. Coming in, I don't know how old he is. He's probably like 22 or something out of college or whatever the case was. But yeah, it was impressive. And the reason we're talking about NBA because a lot of things were going on. The league just started. The NBA opener was last week Thursday, so it's probably I think October.
So they've only gone through 2 games. So we're still at the beginning of the NBA. He's come out gunning. It actually showed a video of his when he got drafted to the 76ers.
Yeah.
And then he was just talking about how hard his mother worked and how for 7 years he was living with a generator to just have electricity and stuff like that.
Because he lives in the islands. This is a common thing for people that live in the islands or third world countries. They might need a generator instead of they won't have 24/7.
Well, they don't have plants, right?
Yeah, they don't have 24/7 electrical supply, so they need generators. Basically, keep the lights on after dark. Pretty much.
So he was just talking about for 7 years they're living with a generator, and then he's seen how hard his mother struggled, and he was gonna come into the NBA, and he wasn't there to play games. He was there to really show out. So he had an opportunity presented to him, and he's gonna take full advantage of the opportunity. And his opportunity to shine as a rookie came, and he took full advantage of it.
Well, they had a funny story about him too that I just want to get into quickly. They said that he would have to cut out milk carts.
Oh, really?
And then basically make hoops out of milk carts and shoot through it. And I guess this was supposed to be like a crazy story, shooting. Oh, you're shooting out of milk carts? That's crazy. But then I heard other people, obviously Americans, different TikToker, whoever it is, famous people were saying that people do that in America. That's not that crazy.
Not crazy,
I think people think America is so beyond a third world country.
Yes,
whereas
I think
they have areas where they are like a third world country.
Yes.
Go to the South. Go to the deep South and see how people live in the countryside because they're not gonna be as modern as it has as New York, right?
They're just not showing those aspects of America, right?
Yeah, right. If you think Miami, LA, New York, you think of the more developed, more modern places in America, but America's huge. It has a lot of different states that, let's face the facts, the shitholes. There's a lot of bad states in America that are terrible. Detroit, Baltimore.
Yeah.
You can go down. Even places that have good reputation to a certain extent have a lot of bad areas. Atlanta, Chicago, they have good history, good stuff going on there, but you don't want to be in the wrong neighborhoods. But they did touch on that, that he was playing in those conditions, and wow, it's so amazing that he made it to where he is. But I want to talk about just struggle quickly. Coming up in a bad situation or coming up in a good situation. Does that make the difference when it comes to success, or is that always going to be a character trait? Those destined for success is because their character, not necessarily because their environment, or do you think it's a combination? Character and environment.
That's a good question. I'm just kind of trying to analyze that in my mind because it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes when you come from a wealthy family, the opportunities are presented to you, and then some of those kids that do come from a wealthy family take advantage of the situation that they're in, and then some kids don't end up taking advantage of the situation they're in. And then when you look at a person that's coming from poverty, they use their struggle as basically a flame to get them to the next level, to ignite them and get them to the next level, right? They use that pain, that struggle, and they harness that into their work ethic, and they get to wherever they need to get to. But then on the flip side, there's people that are coming from poverty, and they use that as a crutch and as an excuse mechanism of why they didn't get to where they are.
But it can be the same for being rich, right? But if you have all the things in the world, it's why would I have to work so hard?
That's true, and this is why I'm saying that some of them don't take advantage of being in a wealthy situation, because people look at them and say, I don't get it. How did you end up like this?
Yeah.
Your parents are wealthy. They're rich. They put you in the best schools. You did this, and exactly why I didn't end up becoming what I should have been, because I got everything that I ever wanted, so I didn't ever have to work hard for it. So on both sides, on both spectrums, what's determined is your characteristic traits rather than your upbringing and the environment that you're in, because that will determine on what you're going to do with what you got.
That's what I was going to say. I think it comes down to more your character rather than the environment. Of course, the environment let's go. You start wealthy.
Yeah.
Well, yes, opportunities are there for you. But if your characteristics are that of, well, I already got everything, I don't need to work that hard to maintain, right? Or just to stay afloat of where I'm at. I'm happy where I'm at. So if I can just hold that down, I don't really need to work that much harder. So I can see complacency being a thing for somebody that has it, right? And then say somebody that comes from an environment when they know that they're the first and last hope. But again, if you know you're the first and last hope, you either succeed or fail, right?
Yeah.
So it's not gonna. What do you have to lose when you're at the bottom?
That's a good question.
When you're at the top, you have a lot to lose, right? If somebody's doing good in life or comes from a wealthy family, they have a lot to lose. Somebody coming from nothing, they don't have a lot to lose. So in my opinion, I would still agree that the environment will make a difference, because the opportunities will make a difference. And I think more people would be successful if they came from a good environment rather than a bad environment. I think the ones that, when we're talking about VJ Edgecombe, and we're just talking about maybe he came from a bad situation, which we know a lot of players and a lot of people in life have been started from the bottom. The problem about that is that you're going to get only so little sparks from the bottom. I think you just get a couple people, and then it's over at that point.
Again, but playing in the NBA, he's one out of how many? Like, there's only like 300 players in the NBA.
So for all his stories, there's a million failures,
exactly.
unfortunately.
So, you know what I mean? So in that...
And if we look at the players that are in the league, a lot of them come from backgrounds of success. Like most players that are in the league currently, some father played, uncle, cousin, brother.
They go through the right circuits.
Yes.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, coming from a good family will always give you a better foundation. It's most likely that you're going to, end up in a good situation, be successful, know the right people, have the right network. So we can never put it past a person that's coming from a wealthy family compared to a person that's coming
those are called miracle works.
Like those are miracle works, and it's just one of those things where, they fight tooth and nail to get to where they need to be. But with that, fighting tooth and nail, that comes with risk, right? They take certain risks to get to where they need to get to, right? If they want to get to the top.
They bet it all.
And when we're talking about betting it all, we got a lot of betting going on in the NBA as well.
Gambling.
We got a lot of risk takers.
A lot of greasy fingers.
But I think for good reason. So right now the NBA is going under fire because there's been talk about mafias being connected to the NBA, and there's a lot of rigging of games that are going on, and there's been some people that have been caught that are players and coaches, over 30 players.
Was it over 30?
Yeah, over
okay,
30.
So they only published the two. Okay,
but this is what I'm talking about, right? So so there's over 30 people that have been caught in the NBA that has been part of this mafia ring of gambling and rigging games, and they're wrangling them in. They're wrangling them in, man. And the Cowboys.
You got exactly. The FBI's got the cowboy hat on, and they're getting those. They're catching those Indians, pretty much, figuratively speaking, at least. But it's interesting because, as you know, gambling has become a big thing, and I'm thinking about when I started to realize what online gambling was, sport betting especially. So I got introduced to sports betting almost 10 years ago. Okay. Almost 12 now. So just think about it. I would have been 20 when sports gambling is still illegal at this time, mind you. I think it got legalized closer to the 2020s, like the last 5 years it got legalized.
So pretty much like COVID era.
COVID, yeah.
Look at that, bro. What a coincidence.
Coincidentally, they legalized in certain places. I know in, say, for example, Canada, we have it province by province. So each province is different. So if you could gamble in Ontario, but if you go to, say, Montreal or Quebec, you cannot gamble there. They don't have the same agreement. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit, but when you're gambling illegally, you could just gamble legally everywhere, right? But when they make it legal, now there's certain jurisdictions that you could and can't. So point of the matter is, when it was illegal, it was pretty much the same as when it's legal. Like, people could gamble, right? You make money. You could make money illegally. Now it's legal. So now the branding comes into play. So now the marketing dollars go into the companies, big companies. They get in bed with these leagues. NBA, you turn on an NBA game. Guess what you're gonna see? Ads for the game, or ads for gambling, or gambling casino, whatever type of business that involves with Vegas. They'll have
They're gonna be there,
there. And if you notice, listen to any podcast. They're all talking about all the top betting sites, all the top betting
revenue.
apps.
Those are all.
Here's a code. Take this code. Make a bet. They'll even give you picks. Even the sports analysts are talking about betting, the over, the under. This is what it's going to be tonight.
Yeah.
So they're even saying it on their shows.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big thing, especially amongst young men. Reason why this is a big conversation, because it doesn't just talk about necessarily the NBA and the rigging and the gambling issues that are going on with them. I think the bigger issue is the gambling issues in our society, especially as a first world country. So now, and especially for young men, this is affecting young men the most, especially those that come from maybe more impoverished conditions.
Yes,
because
100%.
Unfortunately, when you come from scenarios where you don't have that much money, you sometimes look for the get-rich-quick scheme. Those things are more attractive to you.
Which makes sense because, again, life is hard.
Yeah.
And why would you want to struggle? If you could cut your suffering and your struggle easy by finding a little loophole, that's why people play the lottery, right?
This is exactly
they're trying to find a way that they could get themselves out of poverty.
Absolutely.
Right? And that seems like the quickest method, quickest way.
Even though the odds are against them, they still will go and pay their $10 ticket every day or whatever, every week, and they'll keep consistent with it.
Because there's always somebody that ends up winning, and that gives you the what's the word I'm looking for? It gives you hope that you can potentially be that winner.
And I'm not even gonna go as much as hope. The problem with these addictions is all come down to dopamine hits.
Oh, that too. Okay. Yeah.
When you gamble, I remember when you gamble, like the feeling.
But those dopamine hits, isn't that hope?
Yeah, the dopamine. Well, the dopamine hits something in your brain that I wouldn't say that's hope. I think in your brain, like that exhilaration of like your heart pounding, and then boom, you hit it, and you're like, wow, like this guy hit. Like you're so excited when someone like gets the point or the team you bet on wins. The excitement is different. The joy is different, right? Like it's something that you can't explain. Even dealing with a close game and the heart rush and the up and down.
So that roller coaster.
Like I think that's like
emotions
that
going
emotional
crazy.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
I think people like that feeling to a certain extent. They might not admit it, but there's something that draws at them because the potential to make money and lose money, you're more looking at the potential to make money. You're not looking at the potential to lose money.
Yeah.
So you're always, your heartstrings getting pulled towards thinking that you're going to win every single time. So with that thought process, like you said, hope of winning every single time, and that pull of dopamine and the adrenaline, that
pulling
guy
that heartstring.
Pulls the heartstring, so you want to gamble more. Or imagine if you won now. Imagine if you're up. And usually when you're up, it's the worst case scenario because then you think you figured things out. And that's when you really double down on what you're betting. And you're like, you know what? I just won a lot. Like I can double up on this. And there's been so much jokes about these type of things, like doubling up on money when it's like, you already won. And it's like, yeah, but we can double up and we'll have way more.
Yeah,
they had a South Park episode where
we used to watch what's it called, that show Akaji, is it Kaiji, yeah.
But I'll talk about the South Park episode, like that episode where the dad and the town of South Park, they were versing like the native people at the casino. So they had lost their town. Okay. And they're betting like, I guess like $25,000 to like get their town back on roulette. So they won it. And they're like, yeah, we won. Yeah, we can buy our town back. And then one of the dads, Kyle's dad's like, yeah, but wait a second. If we double up this, that means we can. And then after Kyle's like, wait, what the hell? No, don't do it again. It's like, no, because we can double up. We'll not only have our city, we'll have our city, plus we'll all be rich. Yeah, let's do it. Then they double it up and then just clean them out. Like, so that's what I mean about this gambling thing. And even with the young kids, it's just like the reality is what you could win is such maybe a big number that you're willing to continuously trying to chase that. And I think that's how it goes, and it's a never-ending chase. So what you end up doing is making younger people turn into gambling addicts. And then moving forward, it's like how's the economy going to be sustained when people are in debt? People that should have been saving that 25,000 or whatever, 30,000, or maybe reinvesting into the economy, or whatever the case may be, they have now sent it off to the gambling companies, because you have to look at accumulative years of gambling, not just 1 year. You have to look from the time a kid is, say, legal age to gamble, and then say he's like 28. So in 10 years, his building foundational period, and he spent in that time span 50 grand lost. Like, you get what I mean? Those are things that can maybe change someone's life, help guide them to success if it was saved or put in the right places. But now we're thinking of gambling as a investment, or an investment idea. Like, people are now thinking gambling is part of my portfolio to make money.
So I was gonna say, but we're a debt economy. That's what we run off, debt. So don't you think that them being in debt helps the credit card companies? Because now you're gonna keep accumulating more debt, because you're gonna keep, or even the banks, because now you're gonna ask for loans.
Yes, of course.
Credit card, you're going to use a lot of credit cards.
But I think,
and you're going to have to go to work, because it's like, well, you got to pay us somehow. Debt collectors are going to be coming for you.
Yeah, but see, you're getting it all wrong. It's just like any addict. You're going to put a strain on the system. That's how addiction works.
True.
You put a strain on the system, because guess what? You're not able to pay bills. You're not able to do certain things. And guess what? You can go to, you can say you're a gambling addict. Like, that's an actual addiction. That's like something they actually have to recognize. Even if you were going to pay like child support or something like that for a kid, and you had a gambling addiction, they can look into it. They can be like, well, yeah, look, he's clearly an addict. And I think it's easily accessible. Everyone knows gambling been wrong, like, for a long time, for years, centuries. It's always been illegal. You only can go to Vegas. You only can go to casinos to do it. They didn't want you to do it in the privacy of your home, and they surely didn't want to promote it on TV and stuff of that nature. But now everyone knows about it. So
where's the world going to? Like, where's it coming to? Because now that everyone can access it, right? Just like social media, how people are now trying to not necessarily ban it for kids, or teens. They try to put a limit on it. I wonder what they're gonna do with the gambling aspect of it, because they already unleashed the beast in the world, and now are they gonna cage it up again? It's like, didn't they know what kind of damage that? So that's why I'm always confused, because like, when people decide to unleash something of this caliber.
Of course they knew. That's why it's illegal. It's the reason why. Like,
no, but then you release it. You say it's illegal, but then you release it to the world, and
it
it's
depends
like, okay.
But I guess it depends
how do you
what the
control
potential
like
danger is. Yes, it's legal, but at the end of the day, is there any rules behind it? Like, there's no rules behind gambling. It's legal to do it. You can gamble as much as you want. There's no limitation. There's no... Like, now they're trying to do the mental health check on you. Like, if you're on gambling sites and you've been losing money, they'll check in on you and be like, hey, like, is everything okay? Do you need to call somebody? So they're trying to now give you the resources, because they know, like, they're going to come after us eventually. Like, like Vegas knows people are going to come after us for lawsuits. They're going to say this ruined people's lives, this did that. You know, people are going to
it goes pretty far. It goes
like far. People will bet their house. Like, you know, at a certain point, you might bet your whole family savings. They will sell their daughter.
They'll do like the most craziest things.
They'll sell it all just to you know, pay a bill. And this been going on. Don't get me wrong, but again, it's been going on underground. Now it's in your face, where you could be watching a show and say you had a child or something like that. They'll be watching the same ads you're watching about gambling. So they're just more influenced by it. But again, back to the investigation, there's a lot of there's mafia business going on now with this too. So it's a little bit higher level. Now they're rigging games. So I think the gambling has gone so crazy that, you know, even mafia or crime organizations are now wanting to get their feet wet. But they've been doing that. They had this even back in Allen Iverson's day when the referee was gambling with the mafia.
It's always been a thing.
So I think they've always been rigging games. But what did this say about the integrity of any sports? Like, what's your thoughts? Because you watch sports, you grew up with sports. Do you believe there's any integrity behind sports?
See, my thing is when when they caught that ref back in the day with Allen Iverson, my thing is that was one case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is so much at stake in the sports industry.
Yes.
That gambling will always be a thing.
Always be a thing.
So my
it's
thing
always
is,
been a thing.
it's always been a thing, and it will always be a thing.
Yep.
And it's almost like, when do they say, let me draw the line? I feel like it's a smokescreen when they decide to, okay, this time we got to catch a couple of guys and then kind of shut it down and then make everything go back to normal. It's like, oh, we're cleaning up the league. But then it's like, then they'll move back, and then these crime syndicates and stuff continue business as usual. So they'll lay low for a little bit.
Yeah.
When things get hot, they'll lay low for a little bit. We'll stop the gambling right now. But then they'll continue, because Vegas exists for a reason. We gamble. That's what we do.
Vegas is
and
that.
like crime syndicates are part of Vegas. Like mafia is part of Vegas.
It works in all
we
that.
are tied to sports. This is what we do.
Yeah, they make money.
We
off
have
this.
racketeering all the time.
All the time.
It's always been a
collusion
thing. Yes.
all the time. So
extortion,
blackmail.
blackmailing. We do the whole nine.
I think they're doing that with even that player, Jonte Porter.
Yes.
Michael Porter Jr.'s brother that got caught, coincidentally, is on the Toronto Raptors. Yeah. He got caught gambling on games or giving inside information, and he was caught up with like some mafia members, and he probably owed money. It's like, buddy, you're not going to get out of this unless you give us what you owe us. So sometimes collusion's always a part of this, threats and stuff of that nature. So I guess we have to find out that for the details. But it's pretty crazy to see that, you know, the NBA players that are making millions of dollars are involved in this. It's not that crazy that they would give insider information. I think that's a basic human trait. Like, if you were doing something, you're rich, and you can give insider information that maybe helps your buddies get a couple extra dollars, or your cousin or your brother get a couple extra $1,000. And you think it's innocent, I have a bummy knee. I'm not going to score that much points tonight. Why don't you just bet the under, see how it goes? Yes, you're not thinking you're going to get a federal investigation on you.
People do this all the time in the stock market.
Yeah, inside
information, inside trading. You know what I mean? People are in certain companies. They have buddies at other companies. Oh, okay, this is what we're doing over here.
Yeah.
This is a very common thing, because just to get a leg up in society,
and talk about it.
They're gonna try and
to get a leg up.
Yeah, because society just working a regular job or just doing regular things, life is already hard, right? And now if you found a way, a shortcut, which is what gambling provides,
yes,
it's the same thing with inside trading.
Yeah,
if you found a shortcut. Even if you're playing a video game and you found a cheat code or something.
You love a cheat code.
You're going to use it.
It's like whether you beat the game the right way or the wrong way.
Yeah, you're going to use it because it's like, well, if either I'm going to get myself out of this, like this rat race, or I'm going to be a victim of, you know, being part of this rat race. For example, I'm not shocked that these NBA players are doing what they're doing. You have to understand. These people are beating up their bodies every single night when they go on the floor, playing through pain, the whole nine. You know what I mean? To get a paycheck. Now, if you're telling me all I gotta say is I got a bummy knee and I don't need to drop a certain amount of points, and then I get a cut off that, like I sit on the bench and I get a cut, just not even like really breaking the sweat.
Nothing, yeah. It's enticing.
It's very enticing. And usually people will take that, you know what I mean? Not knowing that there's the possibility for them getting caught.
But it's interesting because they said Terry Rozier, which was one of the famous players that got caught up in this as well as Chauncey Billups, they said Terry Rozier, his game check is $350K a game check.
He has to pay his agent, right? Yeah, I think there's a lot of hidden costs that people don't know about. That's why they're
saying in bets it came up to under his name. I guess it came up to 200,000 in winnings.
Yeah, okay.
That's what the number came up on.
And he's making
his
like
name.
300
something per game. Not per game, but I don't know how it works. But
in that, remember, I don't know if you've seen Lou Williams. He was breaking down. Somebody was breaking down
the money,
and how it works, like the taxes, federal taxes, provincial, like the state tax and whatnot, and who gets what. Your agent gets a cut. You know, all these different people that get a cut
before you see your check.
It's
easy for them to go broke even if they're making $1 million a year annual. Like it is easy for them to go broke with not understanding financial literacy.
Yeah, and the breakdowns of how much money is being taken from the individual, because you have to understand the system they're in is still a job.
Okay.
It's still a job. So you're getting the income. Yeah, you're getting a salary, but you're still a salary man. You know.
Yeah, that's right.
You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're not above the system.
You're not above the system.
You're just a high paid salary man, but you're still in the system of being a salary man. So that's why their thing is these are side hustles that you're seeing.
You know what? It's not honestly that shocking, because even though we're talking about these guys making money, and I go, well, making money is relative, right?
Yeah.
Like if I'm making $500,000 a year, but my teammates are making 24 mil, 30 mil, 15 mil. Well, yeah, I'm technically making money amongst bums, like regular folk.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at regular folk.
But I'm not looking at regular folk. I think that's where people get it mixed up. The mentality starts to change where it's like, well, it's not that I'm not making money. It's that $500K doesn't look like much against 24 mil. It looks like a penny. Yeah, it doesn't look like much, right? So I think that also that pocket watching mentality that I think a lot of us are kind of growing up with, especially with social media, watching other people our age, what they have and what you don't have, and comparing yourself to them. So I think that also plays its part when it comes to greed, right? Wanting more, even though you're in a good situation, even though you're able to do what you need to do. When is enough, or is there ever enough? Because I think when it comes to money, and especially even gambling, enough is never enough. Because even if I gambled today and I won 10,000, I would say, let me make 20,000. And then say I made 20, I'd say, well, 100,000. Okay, well, what's going to make you stop gambling? Oh, well, let's think, I want this, and that. You think of all the things you want to buy in future, Well, if I made at least 10 million, it's 10. Well, you're not gonna make 10 million off gambling, right? So, I think it's a losing battle when you're even trying to cheat in that system. Reason why is because, again, Terry Rozier, say he is betting for his own profit. Say he's not helping no one out, but I'm assuming they're helping people out. Say he's not helping no one out. He just wants profit. Is this a good idea? Let's just think about it. Okay, you make whatever, $5 million a year, and then you're doing these bets. Well, you're not gonna make that much. Say you make $200,000 a year off the gambling, right? Clean off gambling. Is that gonna put you over the top of some level that you're ready? Like, this is what I'm trying to say. So I guess that's the question you have to ask. That's what I said about if I'm gambling, if I make 10,000, I still would want to make 20. I still would want to make 100. Unless it's enough to take me out of the game, why would I stop gambling? And I think that's how gambling is. Forever chasing a unicorn, forever chasing something where you're never satisfied. So it could be technically one of the worst addictions, because you need money to make the world go round. You can't have people, blowing through their family savings, blowing through, because there's no limit on that. Like, at least drugs, you have to go find the drug. You have to be in the right spots to go find that. But when it comes to your own money, you can access that all you want. You can take out a loan. You can get a credit card. You can do whatever you want and spend it all and just be like, I'll try and make it back. Boom. And just keep throwing it till you're into oblivion, and then you go bankrupt, I guess. That's what you do. But
I think the problem with gambling, what makes it so destructive, is how much people you hurt in the process, right? So if you're a family man, your wife suffers, your kids suffer. Maybe your parents suffer, because now people are like, they're gonna bet their parents' house. You know what I mean?
Like, bet something, use something that's collateral.
Yeah, collateral. You know what I mean? Or it's like, though,
you put a strain on people.
Yeah, you put a strain on people. I've heard some crazy stories, like how, people are selling their kids to people for like loans.
It's funny. We even heard of this inside. Remember, we heard a story of trying to get inside information on betting. So it's very possible. Remember, we've heard Buddy told us a story about this.
What story is that you're talking about?
Where a player knew, then said, "Oh yeah, this is what's gonna happen tonight." This player, remember?
Yeah.
So we already know.
Yeah.
Like this is what I'm saying. This has probably been going on. I mean, for years it's been going on. But we literally know a person that knew a player that knew information. Like you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, they're not gonna necessarily tell you this is how you make money, but they can give you information. The trading of information is simple. That's my homeboy.
Yeah.
He's telling me who's playing.
Yeah.
He's telling me who's in the lineup today.
Yeah.
Who said they have a bummy leg? Like he literally told me. So sometimes who you're betting on, they might not even know. Just a player could have just told their buddy some information. Maybe the player doesn't want you to bet on them, but they can tell you what's going on in the locker room.
That's actually crazy because I'm trying to wonder how you catch that because, again, you say information is key, right? It's such a key component. So if that player tells a friend and that friend tells another friend, how does it go back to that guy?
Well, it depends if you all bet on the same kind of thing. And it only matters, I guess, if you bet on that player and that player give information about himself. Because if I tell you
about somebody else,
my teammate, he told me he's not really going to do much this game. And I tell you, look, I had a conversation. This is my homeboy. We were chilling, had some drinks last night before the game. He's telling me, you know what? I'm going to have more drinks tonight because tomorrow I'm probably not going to play much minutes. I'm not going to go off. I'm going to enjoy my night tonight. Next game, I'll play 50%. Because that's what happens. They go out, they party, right? A player would know by the next day, I'm not going to really give it my all, or I wouldn't be out drinking. So just someone telling me, yo, we were out till 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and now we have a game at 12 p.m. or 12 noon the next day. Bet the under on this guy. He was drinking all night. He blacked out. Bet the under. Simple. Like, you see what I'm trying to say, how simple it can be? You just need to be friends with people and be close with them and know their situation. You might not even need to put no money on yourself or say bet on me. So I don't want that heat on myself.
That's
But
true.
I'll give you information about other players that I know how they're going to perform.
I wonder why they think they're going to get away with it. Like, I wonder what his thought process was.
For inside information, it's pretty, it's hard to get away with that.
No, like Terry Rozier, like how he was playing, how he thought that people wouldn't notice him.
The numbers would be crazy on him, yeah.
He had the game where he got caught, he had like 5 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds.
Oh, was it?
That was the game he got caught on. Like, He's throwing the weirdest pass. Like
I tell you, they're gonna watch
he's doing the
game.
most wonky shots. It's like, wait, hold on,
you guys are cheating here.
Yeah, you're definitely cheating here. This was not something that it's blatant cheating. Like you can't tell me.
But does cheating affect you like watching sports? I know we got let's talk on it. The Blue Jays, they're in the World Series right now against the LA Dodgers.
They're doing really well. I mean, it's 1-1 right now.
1-1 right now. Great first game. The city was buzzing. I was downtown and I seen.
Oh, you went out during that?
Well, I was working, so I got to see the bar life and seeing all that.
How was it in the bar?
Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. A lot of drunks, a lot of drunk idiots, but. You know, it was crazy. It's crazy. You know, that 6th inning when they hit like 9 runs and that Indian grand slam on top of it.
Yeah.
It was just buzzing. I never seen City like that since the Raptors. We're winning because I went to a couple bars during the Raptors run. So it was good to see. But just speaking on sports, like, do you think that you care if cheating's involved?
I think it's part of the game. I think cheating's part of the game. Everybody's looking to get an edge. On how to win. And when you're trying to get an edge, cheating plays a factor in that to a certain degree.
Yeah, so because of course this is gambling, that's one aspect, but there's also other forms of cheating, right? Yep. There's the league wanting to maybe promote a player. Yep. There could be incentives with the teams. Look at
I was gonna give you a prime example.
The Cooper Flag, even that situation.
I was about to give you that situation.
And guess what? They happen to own a casino. The business that bought the Mavs.
Oh wow!
So remember they bought the majority stake of the Mavs from Mark Cuban.
Okay, I didn't know it was a gambling.
It was a casino company. It's like the family owns casinos, and they're building a big casino in like Dallas too.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're saying it's like they're in the casino business. Like they're not really caring about the Mavs and Luka Doncic. So why did they get the #1 pick? You just traded.
And they said like a 0.1% chance of him.
Stop it.
Like there's
Stop
no
it.
like. realistically,
that sounds like a favor to me. If I've
it
ever
was
heard
definitely
one.
a favor because there's no way you're gonna trade a superstar and then get the next upcoming.
And you already have good players on your team. You already have the Anthony Davises and the Kyrie Irvings, 2 former number 1 picks. Now you got a third former.
Stop it.
All right, stop.
So what I'm noticing is the trend here is if you have enough power and influence, they look past your misconduct. But if you don't have enough power and influence, you can be dealt with.
I guess that's how it does work. I guess that's how sports has been going. Because I think, when you think of the LAs and the New Yorks, like, what do you think? All those championships are legitimate?
Oh, no way. Boston, Lakers.
You know how hard it is to win these things consistently, and what? These guys just happen to keep winning all the time. Even LA Dodgers. Let's keep it real. Like, I think it said this is their 5th time going to a World Series from 2017.
Wow.
From 2017. Wow. That's like an 8-year span. Like, what are you talking about? In that 8 years, you went 5 times?
That's crazy.
And you got the most expensive player from Japan. You're spending $700 million on him. Huh?
Like how?
We went 3 times in our history, and the Jays been around for a while, and they only went. This is their 3rd time.
Third time, yeah. So and then that's in 32 years.
In 32 years, that's
and
crazy.
And you've went
5 times in 8 years.
That's crazy. That's insane.
So there's a lot of politics when it comes to sports. I'm a big sports fan. I know you're a big sports fan, and I always thought about like cheating. I remember. When you're young, you watch sports, you think everything's real, right?
Yes.
Like, oh, wow, like Michael Jordan, wow, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, the Lakers, they're going to win. And you're so excited. You think it's skill set based. You think it's planning, strategy. All these different things that come into blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Right? But we've seen so many times where, like, cheating's involved. And whether that's rigging or steroids or this or that, like even for the running game, even when you think like marathon and stuff like that, there's been people caught for doping, for doing certain things they're supposed to be doing.
Armstrong, look at him with
Neil Armstrong. That had a whole campaign for years talking about
and
this.
He was like the beloved,
the goat of cycling. Yeah, cycling, he is huge.
And then you find out like after it's all said and done, after he's
strip him of his
after he's won how many Tour de France. Then they strip him when he already lived the glory. He already did everything.
But that begs the question: then it's like, did they know he was cheating, or did they care?
I think they knew he was cheating, but I think
you were good for the game. That's the thing. It's like if you're good for the game, what does it matter if you're cheating a little bit? Jordan was a gambling addict at the time. Like when he was playing ball, he was gambling.
Yeah.
Did they portray that? Do they need to show that?
The thing is, they need a poster boy.
That's
and once they have a poster boy and he's doing everything accordingly, they'll protect that poster boy by any means necessary. I think what happened with Neil Armstrong, he wasn't playing ball anymore.
And then
they're like, so you don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. All right, let's pull the rug and let's see how you handle this. And it's funny that I'm talking about Neil Armstrong because I was on TikTok just the other day, and you know what came up? It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? What are they called?
No,
Villy Manili. Those guys that made that song. Girl, you know it's true.
Milli Vanilli?
Yeah, Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, Milli Vanilli. You know it's true. Ooh, I love you. Exactly. That track. So
infamous lip singers.
Lip singers. Exactly. So for some reason that came up on my TikTok.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So like it showed like a cartoon version. It showed the cartoon version of like what happened.
Oh,
right?
Like so, they did the whole thing.
Yeah, did the whole thing. So it was just showing like this producer from Germany. He was producing all these musics, and then he came up with this smart idea where he's like, why don't I just get somebody to make music and then just get 2 guys that look the part to lip sync, to lip sync like they made the song.
Believe it,
right? So make it, So they tried to make it a real thing. So he thought about it like who's gonna know? You know what I mean? He just, everybody does it anyways. You know what I mean? Like when they go, when you see others go to a concert,
they're studioized anyways. They're tweaking up the sound. You don't sound
tweaking
the same.
The sound. they're not really singing the
vocals.
vocals.
They're not necessarily
they'll sing a little bit and they're going to the crowd. You know what I mean?
They can get away with it.
So they can get away with it.
Or play the background vocals.
Play
over
the
top.
background vocals. So he's like, you could definitely get away with it from what he's noticed on how it works and like, you know, when you're on stage and stuff of that sort. So then he went on with it. And then he asked these guys, Milli Vanilli, he's like, he asked them, oh, I'm trying to do this thing. All you guys got to do is show up and just lip sync like the whole music situation. But long story short, they agreed. They said, sure, why not? We could do that. So then so it did really well in Germany. But then after they played the music in America, and then it just exploded.
Yeah, they got way bigger than they expected.
They got bigger than they expected. We went platinum.
Yeah,
they got signed by one of those
Universal or something.
Yeah, Universal or whatever, like one of those music industry companies. They get signed by a label, and then from there they just kept doing the same thing over and over again. But this is what happens when you're you become bigger than you actually are. Like the reason I'm bringing this up, because I think Neil Armstrong in the cycling industry, he probably did something that rubbed somebody the wrong way. So these guys, Milli Vanilli, they did something to rub the producer the wrong way.
Oh, that's how it happened.
So that's what happened. So what happened was, first of all, people were starting to notice that when they would talk in interviews, they had an accent. So one had a French accent, the other had a German accent. But it's like, wait, how do you sound like this on the chorus in the music when you get to have an accent? But then they're like, well, Adele, like if you look at Adele, she
can sing.
She can sing, but she also has an accent. So they're like, they didn't really question it. But eventually, those guys went to the producer and they said to the producer that we don't want to lip sync anymore. We want to do it our own way.
Not to be bigger.
Like they said, like we don't need you anymore. Like
illusions of grandeur.
Delusions of grandeur. Yeah, they got all this fame and all this clout, and they thought they were bigger than life. And they're like, we don't even need you anymore. We can lip sync this. We don't need a lip sync anymore. We'll just do it our own. We'll do it by ourselves. And then he's like, oh, so that's what you want to do?
Yeah,
that's cool. He calls a press conference. All these guys are frauds, They're fraudulent, lip singing. This is not their type. This is not their music. They're actually ripping this guy off, and he's blowing the whistle on these guys. Blowing the whistle.
Careful, you piss off.
Yeah. So then they just said, no, we did do it. They admitted, but they paid us a lot of money to do this. But no, we can still sing. And then they just tried.
Nah, you're done.
Then they tried to sing it. You guys are not the real deal.
Exactly, you're not the real deal. And you can never come back. Usually when you're accused of cheating and whatever the case is, it's hard to come back after that. Your reputation is sullied. You're forgotten about. People don't really love to find out you're cheat, but I do think the best have cheated at a point in their career, maybe haven't got caught. But it's like you said with Neil Armstrong, sometimes you got away with it. You should have left gracefully,
amicably,
but they stick around. Yeah, and they want to make themselves bigger than they are. And sometimes the celebrities,
I think they just forget. They forgot how they got there.
Well, sometimes you believe what you are, like or what you've created. People have gotten many places the wrong way.
Yes,
doesn't mean they're not going to believe in who they are, or what their talents are. Right? Some people have gotten to positions that they should have never got, but they're not going to feel like they didn't deserve it.
But that's what I'm saying, right? So they go in with this mentality that everything they got, they deserved it.
They deserved it, yes.
And when that happens, they start rubbing people the wrong way.
Of course.
But it's like, because the person, let's say the person they rubbed the wrong way was the one that got you to where you are.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they forget who helped them get to the top or what played a role to get them to the top. So then, you once that happens, but that's bound to happen. That's bound to happen when you get to a certain level of success, when you think you don't need anyone.
Yes.
It happens for every type of relationship, right? There's been artists and, celebrities, whatever it is, that been with certain people, came up with them and had all their success with that person. And it's like, but I did this on my own. I don't need you. And then they leave that person, and all of a sudden the career derails. What happened? It's like, well, clearly you needed that person. Yeah. That's what happened. You thought you were better than that person, but clearly you're not.
But we see that often. Look at Beyonce. When she was with Destiny Child, they were all like doing big things, and then at some point, when people start thinking like, oh no, we should do this, we should do that, and it's like, well, you need me. Like, no, we don't need you. We could still have our own individual careers and still kill it. Then Beyonce goes off. She goes on to do big things, and then Kelly Rowland tried to do her thing for a little bit.
Yeah, she did a little thing, but she couldn't.
She couldn't hold on to Michelle. Just fell off completely.
And there's Latoya Luckett too. Remember her? They had like even 5 girls before.
Wow.
Which was back in the day when Destiny Child was first coming to the scene.
Yeah.
But also I just noticed too in life, do you think that to reach or to attain a certain level of success, it's not necessarily that you're the most talented, but that you're the most supported? And when I say supported, it's because like even Beyonce's situation with Destiny's Child, maybe her career flourished the most because she was the most supported.
Yep.
Right? Go back to NSYNC and go back to like Justin Timberlake's and stuff like that. Is he the most supported, most talented? Like, which is it? Is it the most talented or is it the most supported? Because I think that if you're supported by the right people, that's where you can have the breakthrough. I think sometimes it's the people around you that really make your success rather 100%. Than you. Because 100%. I don't think you become Michael Jordan without the Phil Knights and without the commissioner at the time.
There's pieces that help you become who you are. But I do want to say that we are coming to the end of the podcast.
Absolutely. So I do think you have to be in position, and then it's those that are on maybe the outside that are helping you become what you are. I never think it's you just do your own thing and you become who you are. I think if you're going to become anyone that is known in this world, you're going to need people behind the scenes pulling strings.
Yes, 100%. And I think that's where they say a level of luck is required for you to get past certain barriers, certain...
So is luck not having those things and still making it? Or is luck having those things and making it? Like the people behind the scenes.
I think when you are trying to get to certain levels, I think luck plays a factor.
Yeah.
Determining on who you end up running into, right? It expedites the process of you getting to where you need to get to. That's why you'll see certain people when they find this one, it could be like one person, but that one person is connected to multiple people. And then all of a sudden you can see a guy's life go from just regular to like just blast off.
From Joe Schmo to Joe Hero.
Yeah, Joe Hero, exactly. And that happens to people, right? Or like certain podcasts that we've seen where blow up within 2 years. It's like, oh yeah, we're a unicorn. It's like, are you a unicorn or have you just had the right backing behind you that just shot you to where you need to go, right? Because it's like if certain people are working on the podcast for a full 10 years.
Well, that's why the reason I'm asking this question, because like the question is talent a myth? Like at the end of the day, opportunities given to those that seek it, it's not necessarily given to the most talented people. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, we have a lot of talent in this world. People can sing. Why aren't they a recording artist, right?
So Neil actually brought that up. Neil the singer, he brought that up. He said when he first came into the industry, he thought what it was about was the guy that looked the best, the guy that had the most talent, the one that could sing, that had the most charisma was the one that got all the awards and stuff of that sort. But he quickly found out that wasn't the case. People were buying awards. You can buy for being on top of the billboards.
Yes, you can pay for it.
You can pay for it. You could pay for like certain things, which really just kind of destroyed the whole industry in itself. Where it's like what you thought would get you to the top is not what gets you to the top. It's about greasing hands. It's like people are doing stuff behind the scenes that you have no idea. Like people are giving gifts, just like in the government when there's lobbyists and bribing and stuff of that sort. So there's a lot of things, a lot of nuances to any industry that people are not aware of that can get you from point A to point B. And if you understand how to play the game, you will get to that level, to that promised land.
So I guess speaking to the audience, what advice do you have to say? Because it sounds like living an honest life gets you nowhere.
That is true. I say you pick and choose your spots. And, I mean, you don't have the answers to life, but hopefully you run into some luck as you go along in life. And that's all I can say. And, honestly, when it comes to cheating, just like I would say when it comes to cheating or taking shortcuts, because cheating and taking shortcuts are one and the same.
Also, the loopholing. Sometimes cheating is a loophole, right?
Yeah, loophole. I think cheating has a stigma behind it.
Some people find loopholes,
yeah,
gray
so people
areas.
find loopholes, gray areas, shortcuts.
Yep.
That doesn't mean you're wrong for taking them. I just think that if you see it and it's clear as day and nobody has noticed it, why not take it?
Yes, exactly same advice. If you have advantages that you can take advantage, or if you have opportunities you can take advantage of, as long as, I think, for me, cheating, unless it affects people and takes away from people, then obviously that's like a more ethical question you have to ask yourself. But I think in like a business or any entrepreneur endeavors you're doing, stuff that's trying to get your head in life, I think you might not always find it that playing safe is going to help you get to the next step. I think you do have to take risks, and some of those risks may be teetering the borderline of cheating or that gray area. Maybe it's just in between there. So I think you just need to find what loopholes work for you. And then once you figure out which loopholes can benefit your cause, that's where you try and focus on. But I do think you need loopholes. You do need some kind of slick tactics to make it in life. I don't think it's going to be a straightforward way that you're going to win. And those that don't like to cheat, that play it by the book, that's good for you. But I do believe that also will make your opportunities a little more difficult to achieve.
And one more thing I would say is, if you want something, you got to go after it. You eat what you hunt. So if you're not going out there to get what you want, then don't expect life to give it to you.
That's what we got.
This is Far From Normal Podcast.
Yes, sir.
And we are out. Deuces.
Peace.